Well, here's the Spurs team. Plenty of change from last season. No Luca Williams, Barnett, Janai Byfield or Malachi Hardy. There are plenty of those who were involved in the Premier League Cup winning team with the under-17s, though their responsibility to guide the younger players forward. Upson, Bangura, Hall, Beggs, Moncur and Elliot Paris all falling into that category. And there are 3 new first-year scholars in Tingy, Adjicum and Sandyford. And for Reading here this morning, well, this team reached the final of the Premier League Cup for the under-18s last season. They lost in the end to West Ham, but it's a completely new-look side that starts today. Don't be too surprised to see some of these players making the leap to the Reading first team next year, or maybe the year after. Reading, well known for promoting youth, sometimes more out of necessity. We have seen the likes of Michael Elise coming through this academy, though, so there may well be some impressive talent. Away we go then for a new season with the academy on Spurs plate. The under-18s start their league campaign under new guidance for now of Joe Staunton. The head of coaching within the academy takes over from Stuart Lewis, who has moved up from being the coach of the under-18s, is now the first team academy transition coach, supporting the development and integration of young players into the senior squad. And with Spurs having so many players out on loan this season, well, it seems like an excellent move. Plenty of incentive for this young group, given the likes of Mikey Moore and Jamie Donnelly and Ash Phillips, Will Lancashire and others, all out on the next stage of their football journey and, well, really starting to push on in the professional game. Spurs have lost the ball here in a pretty dangerous position. Early chance for Reading, and it's one that Amarechi, their young striker, fails to make too much of. And it's a young-looking back line for Spurs. It's often the way within the academy that Spurs will like to pass the ball around in these kind of areas. And again, in a spot of bother here, but it's all a learning curve, especially in the first game back. Oh, chasing after it, Spurs number 8, Samuel Bangura. Was a firm fixture as far as this group was concerned last season, made the 10 league starts over the course of the campaign. Chasing after the ball, watches one sail over the top, and Dylan Thompson, who is in goal for Spurs, can get the ball away. Sam Archer was the number 1 for the under-18s last season. He will be making the step up to the under-21s. That was a pretty late challenge. A free kick will go Reading's way. Ryan Z is the Reading fullback who is hopping away. And Reading go back, all the way back with their free kick. That's a good interception by Ty Hall, who is the Spurs captain. Takes over the armband from Sam Archer, who was captain last season. Ty Hall last season really did show signs of leadership in central midfield. His more preferred home here, where we expect to see him, but he filled in on a number of occasions at centre-back last season. More naturally, we would expect to see him where he is today, 6 on his back. Here's one of the first-year scholars, Tingy. Goes across towards Upson. Had such a brilliant season last season. Really grew in confidence. Spurs are giving the ball away here, and they've got some chasing to do. It's Reading again, who are looking the more purposeful in the early stages. They will work it very nicely indeed. And Spurs haven't cleared away, certainly not at the first time of asking. One back here by Corrie, and headed away by Upson in the middle. Brilliant header by the Spurs defender. Started last season at right back, Elijah Upson. But he started the last 10 games of the season at centre back. And he looked far more comfortable in that kind of position. And his header away has got Spurs to some safety, and they have a throw in here on the left-hand side. And it's Upson on the ball here. And Sandiford on the right. Up towards Rhys Elliott-Paris. Scored such a wonderful goal in that under-17 Premier League Cup final. Came off of the bench to make his mark. And with Ellis Lehane stepping up to the under-21s for this season, Rhys Elliott-Paris looks to be the starting number 9. Well, it's taking a while for this Spurs team to settle, but there has been so much change. Luca Williams-Barnett was such a massive part of this team last season, was the glue, really, that held everything together. And it will be about the first-year scholars from last year who are now heading into year 2, stepping up, taking more responsibility. Ty Hall is chasing and winning the ball back here. Had 2 for company. Helping out in there is Bangura. Well, Spurs on the attack. And it's Jamal Beggs here, who is able to move the ball out to the left-hand side. Wearing 10 today for Spurs. Had a really memorable moment at the end of last season where he scored the late equaliser in the game against Arsenal. First meaningful attack here as far as Spurs are concerned. And Rhys Elliott-Paris with his back to goal quickly closed down. That was such a wonderful game against Arsenal last season. Brought back some memories of the 4-4 draw that saw Aaron Lennon score that late equaliser during the Harry Redknapp era at Spurs. Spurs shifting out to the left. Miracle Adewole is there. He was a massive part of this group last season. Big part of the success as well in the Premier League Cup. Has been with the club since he was 7. Signed his first pro deal in April. And we'll be looking for another big season with the under-18s. Miracle Adewole on the left. Ball on the right-hand side, shielded out of play by Oscar Sandiford, who's had a really good pre-season with the under-18s since moving to us from Crystal Palace last season. One of the first-year scholars taking a step up. And part of this new-look defence for Tottenham Hotspur here. Upson finding Adewole. Nice first-time pass. And Bangura's flick back into the path of Adewole, doesn't quite make it.
Bit more, Ronnie. Bit more, Ron. Tuck in a little bit more. Open up. Tell Bexy where you want him.
Hold, Daka, hold. We haven't got the ball. We haven't got the ball, Daka. It's not control. In, Daneo, in.
Yes, Ronnie, go on in. You're out, Oscar. You're out.
Go on, Oscar.
It's not on, you can touch it.
Set the line! Harley, the gap between midfield.
Midfield runners!
Aaron, go on!
Bexy, go on in.
Double. Go on!
Inside, Elijah. Inside, in case we lose it. Good lad.
Go on, little bit more!
That's much nicer from Spurs. Reece Elliott Paris again is the target. Unable to do too much with the pass into feet. I think Reece Elliott Paris's development is going to be really interesting to watch over the course of the season. Saw some big flashes of what he was all about last season. That 45-yard goal against Brighton was excellent. Scored 4 goals across 22 league games in the end. Waiting to see him step up. Very impressive when he came onto the pitch in the final of the Premier League Cup. More success for the academy last season. There's been plenty of trophy lifts over the last 2 or 3 years. Here comes the Reading counter. Looks very dangerous indeed. Upson was the wrong side of the defender, the wrong side of the attacker, and Hunt goes down. And well, that, if it is a free kick, is a denial of a goal-scoring opportunity, surely. Was outside of the box. And it had to be 10 minutes into the start of the new season for the under-18s. And Eli Upson has been given the red card. Well, the referee had to explain himself to Elijah Upson. But it was a denial of a goal-scoring opportunity. And the plan has shifted somewhat now for Spurs. Well, Upson was the one who perhaps had a bit more experience at the back, with the other 3 all very much new to this team. Sandiford, Tingy and Adjicum all stepping up for the first time to play for the under-18s. And so Upson's presence back there was so important, but he has been sent off here, and Spurs now have a long way to try to hold on. They also have the problem of this free kick to deal with. Dylan Thompson setting the wall. Goalkeeper makes his way back into a more central position. And it's Aaron Noor for Reading, who will set himself to try to hit it goalwards. And he curls it, tried to go under the wall, and the wall did its job. Well, this is a tricky situation now for Spurs. It's a long way to go until the end of this game, and a long time to hold out. There's extra space, and Omar Reggie tries to take advantage of it here for Reading. His cutback is well intercepted by Ty Hall. He might have to step back into the Spurs defence. For now, remains in midfield. It does look as though Ty Hall has stepped back into defence. It's a position he has played before. I mentioned this earlier on in the game, that it's a move that he has made. And he's always looked pretty good there as well. Here is Dylan Thompson. Adjicum after the ball, and Reece Elliott-Paris with a thumping challenge to win it back.
Wait, Reece. This way. Don't let it go back. Get outside. Good try. Well played, Tyler. Finish.
That's a good ball over the top, and that's not well swept away by Dylan Thompson, who is saved by the flag. Flag of the assistant goes up, and it will be a free kick to Spurs.
Come on, Begsy. Wait. Begsy, higher. There's no pressure on them. Get higher, Begsy.
Here is Tingy.
Next line, Samuel.
And now Adjicum.
Body open, Oscar. Body open.
And the referee does get in the way. Probably should have stopped the game and given the ball back to Reading, but they have it anyway. Omar Reggie on the left-hand side, trying to go around the outside of Ronnie Moncur.
Come on, Begsy, tighter. Tighter. Come on. Come on. Good. Up we go. Up we go, Tyler.
Z, the fullback, with a cross into the area that's not well dealt with here by Tottenham Hotspur. Daka is challenged. Tiché St. Louis and Aaron Noor. Well, often you'll see this from teams who have the extra man. They will go side to side and make the other team work as hard as possible. And it's a game of fitness and concentration now for Spurs.
Reece, can he see ya? Open up a passing lane, Samuel. Open up for Reece. Come on, Tyler, don't need it.
Ty Hall does well, makes the leap, wins the free kick. Well, fitness really will be key now with Spurs having one fewer on the field, and this is where we get to find out how hard the players worked in pre-season. Definitely not the start to the season that Spurs would have been hoping for here with the early sending off. But you have to react, and academy football is all about development, all about tasting real-life situations.
Lads, you can get tighter there.
Well, here's the room to roam for Spurs. And Bangura was smothered as he tried to make his way into a better position. Spurs had runners as well. Reece Elliott-Paris was one side and Jamal Beggs was sprinting away out to the other. Well, the flag is up again. The Spurs defence doing its job. Well, there's lots of work to do now for the two Spurs midfielders. It did look as though, with 10 on his back, Jamal Beggs would be spending a bit more time, a bit closer to Reece Elliott-Paris, but I think he's going to have to almost dovetail here as a number 8 who is then providing support. And even here, dropping back into that number 6 role and covering in front of the back 4. Really caught the eye last season, Jamal Beggs.
Block the middle first, lads.
Ty Hall, long ball over the top. Sanderford was the runner. And Ronnie Moncur with a throw-in that goes backwards. Really went under the radar last season, Ronnie Moncur, as far as the academy is concerned. There were players like Teenan Thompson and Luca Williams-Barnett who perhaps got the plaudits more often, but he had a very good campaign. Chasing after it here. Nearly got there, but not quite. Shielded away. Might have a bit more of a chance to shine this season. Was a big part of the team that won the cup. I think he gets the whistle.
Go on, Christian. Go on, back at you. Hey, shoot. Go on, step. Step. Aaron, block the middle first. Go on, just a little bit. Just a little
Come
bit.
off him, take him in there, Ronnie. Go on, take him in there.
Hold that. Hold the 6. Seconds, Christian.
Spurs create the angle for the crossfield ball. And Adjicum comes forward here to take this throw in, which he's happy to send all the way back.
Daka, why are you not going?
Brilliant challenge by Dakar for Reading, and a good recovery by Spurs. It's strange, but Spurs almost look a bit more comfortable. We're 10 on the field. Everybody having to work that bit harder.
Little creep, Aaron. Better, Chris, on the travel, Christian. Hold.
Ronnie, go take him right in the pocket. Centre half comes out, Reece.
Go on, we got 2. On the travel of the ball. Christian, what are you doing? Dovey, higher! Get up to halfway! On the travel, on the travel.
Good boy,
Bangura to Sanderford here. Bit of room for Moncur.
Dip it across. Good. What do you say?
If you are a big follower of the academy and you are eager to see lots of last season's under-18s playing for the under-21s, they start their new season on Monday night, 7 o'clock fixture away at Sunderland. That will be live on Spurs Play. Dancing his way through. Adewole has won a first Spurs corner of the game, has he? No, it's a goal kick. Looked for a moment as though it could have been something that was about to go Spurs' way.
go deep.
Okay, Reece.
Backer is the diagonal. Wait, come and stay. Play it.
Now Spurs are chasing hard to get after that ball. Reggie, the number 9 for Reading, dropping off of that front line. That makes him pretty difficult to mark. Poor delivery into the area, though. Thompson able to gather that one. Solid start to the game for the new goalkeeper for the under-18s. I was about to say, I mean, did play a couple of times in the league for the under-18 group last season, but it was Sam Archer who really held that spot.
Lucas! Press the 8 and start winning the ball. Come out, Oscar. Try it. Christian! Press! The 10! Good. Forward! Good position, Miri! Line the line. Go on in, go on in, go on in. Go on, Larry. Larry, he can't do what he wants. Come here! Come here, Bexley!
Well, you can see the group are still trying to commit themselves into more forward areas of the pitch if they can. Spurs looking for these longer balls over the top. This one will drop. Reece Elliott Paris managed to send it in the direction of Moncur, but Moncur couldn't quite get there. Jamal Beggs wrestling to win it back. And he did enough to stop the flow of the Reading attack momentarily, but here they come again. And it's Kovas on the right-hand side, who's looked quite dangerous in the game so far. Runs into Adjicum. Sliding challenge from him that was relatively dangerous, but he's managed to win the ball back. Daka for Reading. Sees his shot well blocked. Bangura and Hall working hard together to win it back here for Tottenham Hotspur. Swept away and out to the left-hand side. Miracle Adewale dropping deeper, as all of these Spurs midfielders are to help out here. Well, there's freedom for Reading. They're into the area and they're into the lead. Lucas Daka gets the opening goal of the game against Tamman Spurs. It's Tottenham Hotspur 0, Reading 1. Well, they've used the extra space well. Ty Hall had to commit himself to the challenge, and there was room for Daka. And he found the space in the corner. Well, Spurs are making a few tactical changes here. Well, back underway. Not too much that Thompson could do about the goal. He's found Tingy. And Jamal Beggs is now very deep. Around the corner it goes. Adewale has found the run of Moncur. Spurs looking for the equaliser, just that final pass. Didn't quite make it to Reece Elliott-Paris. It was a wonderful confidence with the ball though. Spurs zipping that one around very nicely indeed.
Yeah, Larry, well done. Tight, tight. Okay. Reece on this outside of centre half. Go on.
Big header by Ty Hall. And you can see some of the players who've been with the under-21 group on the side of the field there. Luca Williams-Barnett, Yusufa Kamrich. Tina Thompson. Malachi Hardy is also there. Good to see these Spurs players supporting one another. It always used to be the way with the group that we saw with Jamie Donnelly and Mikey Moore, and they've not gone on and done too badly. Reece Elliott-Paris navigates his way through. And the referee tried to play an advantage for Spurs. There was no advantage forthcoming, and so it will be a free kick. And this is a good opportunity here for Tottenham Hotspur to get themselves back into the game. Nice running by Reece Elliott-Paris. And he was just caught by Dove, the centre-back.
Organising there, Mark. Second contact. D, next to the wall. Nothing across you.
Ty Hall will be the one who will step back and take this. And he's going to strike it straight into the wall. Well, he hit it hard enough, but he didn't quite have the elevation to get that over the wall, and now he's got some work to do. In fact, the whole Spurs defence too, racing to get back. As Reading look to hit on the break, and they don't make the most of the opportunity, and Hunt heads the ball wide of target. Well, Spurs had to commit to that free kick at the other end. They are the kind of opportunities where there will be a chance to get back into the game and to level things up. But what it does mean is that occasionally, especially with 10 on the field, they'll be very exposed at the back.
You're not marking anyone, Aaron. Larry, you can go. Chris, stay in there with him. 2v1.
Seconds, come out. Come on, run here, 6 minutes.
Go.
Get out.
Oh, that was a late challenge by Bangura, right under the nose of the referee.
Aaron, if you're not protecting anything, just go. This way, hey, this way. Hardy, get the ball. Hardy, go in here. Hardy.
Leave it to yourself, leave it to yourself.
Tingy's done well. Kovas on the right trying to turn, not given the chance to do that by the Spurs midfield, who've quickly whipped the ball away. But here comes the Reading press. They're after the ball very quickly indeed, trying to keep it up inside Spurs half as much as possible. Adewale with a chance to surge here. That's a lovely pass into Reece Elliott-Paris. The Spurs number 9 whips one way then the other. And that's a last-ditch challenge, timed perfectly by the Reading defender, Dove. Wonderful in the build-up here by Reece Elliott-Paris, all on his own. and stopped at the last minute.
Shea, get in! Covey, get in! D, Covey, head the ball! D, Shea, head the ball! Goes in!
Spurs take the corner short. And it will... Well, it looked as though it was about to be an equaliser. Wouldn't have counted in any case because the flag was raised. Nice quick thinking from Spurs. Reece Elliott-Paris was in an offside position though. Well, Spurs have had a couple of breaks more recently, a couple of chances to get themselves back level. Holding their heads high, despite the fact that they only have 10 on the field here. Tingy certainly has a confidence on the ball. He's found Ty Hall. And now Adewole. Bit of a baptism of fire for some of the first-year scholars making the step up. Might not be the worst thing in the world as far as the context of the season is concerned. Wonderful pressure. Bangura winning it back. Elliott-Paris evades one challenge. And cuts it back to Moncur. Now Beggs. Hustling hard to win it back and winning a free kick for Spurs. It was a challenge not to the liking of the referee from Hunt. Having to dig in here, Spurs, having to be as tenacious as possible. And it's another chance for Ty Hall to strike a free kick from a much better area this time, more centrally placed. And he's got a few options. And he will curl one into a good spot. And Tingy will float the header, but over the top of the bar. Well, they are taking the free kicks quickly here, Spurs. There is clearly a directive. Try and catch Reading out. Don't let them set themselves. Tingy's header, though, floated over the top of the bar. Ty Hall is back on cover, gets a helping hand from Thompson, who comes to clear away. It does look as though the sprinklers that are on the flowers on the other side of the gate around the pitch here are causing some of the fans a few issues. I think you're okay if you brought your coat. If not, well, you might be in a spot of bother. That was a nice touch by Hunt for Reading, and they have a free kick here just outside of the penalty area. Aaron Noor is the one who is fouled. I think Spurs would be fairly happy if they could take themselves to half-time with the scoreline like this. And I wouldn't see that the game plan would change all that much, trying to nick a goal, grab an equaliser. Because at this stage, with 10 on the field, a draw would be a very good result. Well, the free kick comes out to the edge of the area, smashed over the top of the bar. And no trouble for Dylan Thompson. Tyler Tingey did pick up a yellow card in the middle of all of that. That was for the foul that led to the free kick. And it's a late challenge this time from Reading. And Beggs will take it quickly. And Sanderford will go across towards Hall, who can carry forward here from his new centre-back position. Tingey driving. Looks so comfortable with the ball at his feet. Could be a real feature over the course of the season. We had Alfie Dorrington, of course, only a couple of years back, who was so well known for carrying the ball forward from those centre-back positions. And it's wonderful to see him, on a separate note, continue his footballing journey this season with another loan up in Scotland. Reading dancing their way through. And Dylan Thompson is happy to watch the shot come through from Omoregui and head wide. Set himself really well, but he just didn't get his angles right, and he puts it wide of the target. Plenty of space for the runners here. And it's Noor for Reading, who is smartly closed down by Tingey. And Spurs have conceded a corner, which was perhaps the best outcome from there. Kerry delivers the ball into a good area. Spurs might be in trouble here. Well, eventually, they had 4 possible players back to block. All hands on deck. Moncur, the first one to get there. Corner's going to be taken quickly here by Reading. And St. Louis waits to curl one in. Spurs able to make the clearance. Reading deliver, and that's a brilliant claim by Dylan Thompson. Comes out to command the penalty area just when he was needed. And rolls the ball to Sanderford. Well, Beggs nearly caught in possession. And Spurs are struggling to get themselves away from the edge of their own box here. Reece Elliott-Paris will chase. But it's a bit of a lost cause. And then there's a foul right under the nose of the referee by Spurs. And Reading in a good position again. And Carey will take it quickly. No, he won't. The referee said the ball was moving. It will be pulled back. Adewole holds off plenty of challenges. Ooh. And then swiveled and a scissor kick. Well, he was lucky not to get a card, firstly for the challenge and then for the reaction. How's that not a yellow card? Spurs under more pressure before the half-time whistle here, and Tingy had to be really careful not to make a challenge on Kovas there. Did ever so well not to concede a penalty, to keep his head and not dive in. Luckily for Spurs, the move doesn't come to anything. Well, Spurs are being harassed and hurried up at every turn. Reading chasing the opportunity to make it 2 before the break. And this is all becoming a bit familiar at the back for Spurs. Spurs defenders with it, looking for a pass. Moncur trying to get Spurs away from trouble, but they're back in it again. Snaps in with a challenge. Reece Elliott Paris stumbles, but he stayed on his feet, and he's done really well here. Eventually does run into the challenge from Harley Irish. And the chase is on. Sanderford is after Omoreggi. Dylan Thompson makes a good save. Miracle Adewole in a foot race here, but it's Taché St. Louis, the fullback, who manages to get there first and get it back to his goalkeeper. Reading in behind, and Kovas, who's looked really dangerous in this first half. Well, he ran into Adjicum in the end, was in a very good position. Half-time cannot come soon enough for Spurs. It does feel as though this team could do with a breather. They've been under wave after wave of pressure here from Reading. Adewole was clipped. And there's half-time. Well, Spurs have done really well to get themselves to the break, only one behind here. The game flipped on its head after the sending off of Eli Upson early on in the match. Reading made a really good fist of it, took advantage of the extra space. Lucas Daka with a goal. Let's see Spurs behind at half-time. It's Spurs 0, Reading 1. Underway then for the second half. Spurs get us started. Ty Hall remains in the heart of the Spurs defence. Having started the game in central midfield, he replaces Upson, who was sent off. And it's a first touch for Oliver Boast, who holds the ball up well and wins a free kick for Tottenham Hotspur. Confident start for him. And what we saw in the first half was that Spurs midfield with the sending off having to work really hard. And Spurs were often pushed back really deep by Reading. Will be very interesting to see how they approach the second half. They did struggle to find that second goal. Back comes Moncur. All the way back to Sanderford. His first start for the club today in a competitive fixture, Oscar Sanderford. Not the easiest of starts. Adjicum, one of the first-year scholars, moving the ball on. And Bangura finding Beggs, and there was some room on the right, but Spurs unable to move the ball out there. Beggs didn't move it quickly enough, and that means it was intercepted, and now Reading can break forwards. Hunt, who was lively in the first half, wins a free kick. And the momentum of the attack breaks down for now.
Larry, don't need to press the GK. Yeah, don't press the goalkeeper unless you can nick it.
Well, it's nicely worked to Kovas on the right-hand side. It does have the look of Michael Elise. Famous academy graduate of Reading's, of course. He's lost the ball. Here's Miracle Adewole, trying to find some freedom in that area, but unable to do so. Kovas all the way back, and he recovers the ball for Reading. Ty Hall's long ball. Looking for both. And wasn't too far away from finding Bangura either. In the end finds neither. And Reading do the same. Look to lift one straight through the middle. That's that long ball again beyond Bose. Dove is able to get there. He's had a really good game at the back for Reading. Now the chase. And Bangura is smartly after it. Boast is in, and he pokes it towards the corner. And the referee points to the spot. Had a good, long, hard think about that, but Spurs have a penalty and a massive chance to equalise in a game, well, where they've been so far behind thanks to the sending off early on in the match. Brilliant here from Boast and from Bangura. Managed to get the shot away, but it was clumsy from the Reading defender. And it's a good decision by the referee. And having won the penalty, it will be Ollie Boast who will step up to hit this one from the spot. Well, the new summer arrival from Leeds United, looking to make an instant impact here, has been on the pitch only 5 minutes. And he can make the game 1-1. Ollie Bose announces his arrival. Well, looked as though he had. Round 2. Ollie Bose sees the penalty saved by the goalkeeper, chose to go the same way as the first penalty that had to be retaken. And the goalkeeper, well, he was leaning that way right from the off. Sanderford delivers in, Reading turn away. Well, it's a big opportunity lost for Spurs, but you have to feel for Ollie Bose there, having to retake that penalty. I'm sure he'll be playing that one over in the mind, but there's not really time to do that.
Ollie, this side! Ollie, this side! Brilliant. Run onto it! Run onto it! Go!
Adjicum won't get there because Anthony Dove is around. Bose swivels away from Dove. Lovely feet, still going here. Well, he's certainly turned up to impress in this second half. May have missed the penalty, but anytime he's had the ball, well, he's certainly looked pretty good so far, Ollie Bose. Hall's pass, Moncur, room to spin. Now Bangura, instantly looked after by the Reading defender, snapping him with challenges. He's done well to keep hold of it, but he's had to backtrack. Bose looking for the return pass, well spotted by Dove. Now Tingy's got work to do, but he's lost his man, and Spurs have conceded another. In a flash, Reading from back to front. And Omoreggi is there to turn one beyond Dylan Thompson, who was off of his line, stranded in a position where he could do nothing. Slipped away from Tingy, and Omoreggi with a simple finish. Well, as is so often the way, in big moments, games hinge. Spurs have a penalty saved, and minutes later, Reading on the burst, able to make the most of their advantage of having one extra on the field, a high defensive Spurs line. And their number 9, Omoreggi, with a smart finish, beating Dylan Thompson. Z is the Reading fullback. And he goes back. And it's Bose again, hustling and harassing the Reading defence. Well, as far as an audition goes, Oliver Bose has done his chances, I'm sure, of featuring in the team next week. No harm at all, despite the penalty miss. And he's only been on the field 10 minutes. Nice move by Spurs. Adjicum, forward on the left, delivers one in, and it's Dove, the centre-back, who gets that one away. Moncur's done well. Coaching staff certainly enjoyed that one.
Movement! Go! Press the wall!
Ty Hall continues his run from centre-back up into a right wing position. And Bose waiting for the delivery, won't get there. Moncoeur's got it, looks as though that could be another penalty. And it will be. Well, the challenge on Ronnie Moncoeur was late. And for the second time in the game, Spurs have a chance from the spot. Well, the Reading players aren't particularly happy, but that is a stone wall penalty. Well, Ollie Bose took the first penalty, had to retake it, and it was saved by the goalkeeper. This time it's the captain, Ty Hall. And if Spurs are to have any chance of getting themselves back into this game, they need this. It's Ty Hall for Spurs. It's a fabulous penalty. And it's Spurs 1, Reading 2. Well, he hit that one very nicely indeed. Slammed into the corner by Ty Hall. The perfect spot kick. And it's another change for Spurs. Ollie Salter is onto the pitch. And a change for Reading as well, as Kerry makes way. And the Teji comes on.
Double run again. Keep threatening. Stay on side. Well done, Ollie.
That's a really fabulous ball, but it's just beyond the reach of Adewole. I think there's plenty of promising signs, though, on the two flanks for Spurs. Ajikum on the left has always shown a willingness to get forward, and Adewole has got the benefit of having all of those minutes that he picked up last season in the bank. Played 21 league games for Spurs at this level last season. Reading send it wide, and Sandefjord has some work to do. It's Tingy in the end who gets that clearance away to safety. Well, Spurs are looking for the flag. There was a big shout for it from the bench. Nothing, though, from the assistant on this near side touchline. Good recovery by Ollie Salter who manages to recover and get back. Another of the first-year academy players making the step up, joined the club as an under-14. Well, the corner is deep. It was sent towards the centre-back Dove. And it's still alive here for Reading. And they are, well, smacking on the door, but it's a wonderful interception by Salter.
Good, Ollie, start to move with the play.
Ollie, hold on. Ollie, hold on.
Off it, Tyler. You might get it. Off it, Tyler. Wait. Wait. Higher, Tyler. Go on.
Aaron, do a job. Aaron, no, do a job. Take.
Miri! Miri, Joe!
Hold on, right on the line. Right on the line.
Ready, well done, Z.
Go on, Sino, you can go. Too straight.
Ty Hall lifted one through. And Ronnie Moncur is unable to do too much with that.
Come over. Tight. Come on, Ollie, aggressive.
Now Tingy will get the free kick after the push from behind by the substitute, Iteji.
Run high. Back up.
Ty, this way. Samal, run. Sprint. Good, Samal. Miri, in front of it.
Go on.
Move on.
It's easy, guys.
Run in. Yes, Tyler.
Ronnie Moncur has to backtrack.
Go on, Ollie.
Tingy is there in support.
Good boy, keep
Now Salter.
to the move.
And a good interception by St. Louis.
Go with it, Ollie. Go with the runner inside, Ollie.
Play, good Tyler.
Lads, you okay?
Go higher, Ollie.
Hey, you ready? Have your top on,
Ollie
hey.
Bose, go higher. Good.
Bit of a push in the back, but Spurs have got away with that one. Wasn't the pass from Ty Hall that was needed for Spurs.
Good, Joseph. Larry, you okay? Larry, you okay? Good lad. Z.
Ty Hall again, long ball over the top. The runner was Ollie Salter. And you can understand what Spurs are doing here, because Reading are trying to press on with a high defensive line, keep Spurs boxed in inside their own half. And that long ball just forces them back ever so slightly. As Reading prepare to make another change. Martin Grant is the one who comes on. Monker was trying to see if he could find a way through that Reading defensive line, but there were two players stood there. And, well, very difficult to find a way through that is for sure. That's good battling by Spurs. Tingy's pass, Hall is there. Tingy looking for an option, finding one here. Opening day of the league season for the under-18s on Spurs play. Down to 10, but fighting hard to try and get something from this game. Well, the challenge was late. The referee again waiting to see if there was anything that materialised in terms of an advantage. And Bangura will get the whistle. Had a brilliant season last season. End of the campaign was picked up by the Sierra Leone under-20 squad. I always think it's an excellent opportunity for players to test themselves against the very best on the international stage where possible. Sanderford chose the wrong run there. Had he gone on the outside, maybe would have been in a crossing position for Spurs. And now Tottenham Hotspur under-18s are looking a bit exposed. Salter does well to get back. And Beggs and Bangura continue to chase hard. Salter again snaps in with a couple of challenges here. And then an unfair tackle by Bangura.
Down the corner of the box.
Well, corner kick for Reading. And a test here for the Spurs defenders. Tingy and Hall wait to try and get the header away. Reading get a flick on it. Not enough, though, to test Dylan Thompson. He's not had masses to do in the second half, Thompson, which is a real credit to the Spurs players here. The final 20 minutes, though, could be really tough. Sanderford's ball up towards Boast. He won't get there. Now Adewole. Well, he was waiting for that turn, then he was chopped. Quite surprising there not to see a bit more from the referee. Well, not entirely sure what was said there by Adewale, but it clearly wasn't to the liking of the referee. And he has just let that be known. Sandiford. Twisting, turning, looking for room, not finding too much of that. And Tingy spreads it out to Salter, bursting clear. He's done well here. Salter gets to the edge of the area, but he sees his shot well blocked. Ty Hall into Beggs, who's allowed to turn. And Bangura sees the room on the right. Has found Adewale. Miracle Adewale clipping in, and the two Spurs players, Salter and Bangura, in each other's way. Bangura got his angles wrong, and the header goes wide. It looked to be a really good opportunity. Brilliant work on that right-hand side by Adewale in the build-up. Well, Ty Hall cushions the header into midfield. Adewale trying to move that one on. This is where Spurs are going to have to be careful. They've caught themselves in a spot of bother. Brilliant from Dylan Thompson. And Tingy gets enough on that to get that away, and Beggs with a pass which is loose. Reading rushing onto it. Z charging, and again the Spurs keeper Thompson is smartly down. Wasn't really the kind of power on that would really trouble the goalkeeper. That was pretty routine. Been fairly impressed with Dylan Thompson though here. So often the way that we see young goalkeepers coming through and they can play without confidence, don't look happy with the ball at their feet, takes a while to grow. Looks as though he's already adapted pretty well in those areas. Made a couple of good saves here. We've seen some really good goalkeeping talent coming through with Spurs. Josh Keeley, Luca Gunter. Thought Sam Archer was excellent for the under-18s last season. And we'll be keeping a watchful eye on Dylan Thompson and his progress, that is for sure. This is a brilliant run by Sandiford, sliding to get there. And he felt the final touch came off of a Reading player, but it's good work in the end by Harley Irish, the Reading number 6. Final touch off of Sandiford, and it will be a Reading goal kick. Oh, here comes Thomas for Spurs.
Oscar on one, Cameron next to you.
Well, he's been with Spurs for a very long time, Cameron Thomas, since the under-8s. Can play in a number of positions. I would imagine he is going out towards that right-hand side. Oh, here comes the burst. Martin Grant, the Reading substitute, trying the early ball in. And Tingy didn't get the best of clearances away, but he was there to make the block. Denies the Teji. Reading's number 10 lining this one up. Aaron Noor, low ball, not one of his best. Now Z. Well, Spurs are able to get to the header, and now they can break. Moncur is leading the charge. Tingy into Beggs. And Thomas, the substitute, gets first meaningful opportunity and first meaningful touch on the ball. Well, Reading have a free kick, and Noor again will be the one to take. To Shea St. Louis, sending a nice pass in behind. Reading trying to line up a shot on goal. Martin Grant doing that. That was pretty wild in the end from him. Quickly closed down on the edge of the area by both Beggs and Salter. Now Bangura. That's a lovely turn. Salter slips the pass. Tingy trying to turn it into that 6-yard box. Boast was there waiting. But the impressive Dove, the Reading centre-back, who looks as though he's got himself in a spot of bother here, having turned that ball away, did ever so well. Has certainly had a bit of a growth spurt before anybody else, but he's put himself in all the right places here in this game. He may just have tweaked his hamstring here. I don't know whether trying to stretch that one out is the best of decisions, but... Big 10 minutes coming up then for Spurs as they search for this equalising goal. Beggs with a corner. It will bounce awkwardly. And Moncur was able to volley. Didn't come to too much in the end. And the flag is raised on the far side. The assistant has called an offside here. Now Spurs are preparing to bring on Muslika here. And he will drop into the Spurs midfield. Was really prolific for our under-16s last season. 16 goals there. Made his debut for the under-18s on the final day of last season. Another of our first-year scholars who have so far really caught the eye. There have been some impressive touches from Ollie Salter. Whenever the ball has been in the direction of Oliver Boast, he's looked really good, the new centre-forward. Two fullbacks have sort of equipped themselves really well, Sanderford and Adjicum.
Overloads this side if David pulls here. Yeah, no, I just feel we can play here instead of there. Yes, Ryan. Yes, Ryan.
Ollie, halfway line. Good. Up, go down, Ollie. Well, wait there, Ollie, sprint.
And Martin Grant in a foot race here with Salter. Slides in, whips the ball away. Really liking what we're seeing so far from Ollie Salter.
Come out! Come out!
Curling delivery to the back of the box, flicked away by Spurs. That is a hell of a hit. And a wonderful stop by Dylan Thompson. How much he saw of that through the crowd, I very much doubt, but he gets down really smartly here. And if Spurs go on to get anything from the game, they have Dylan Thompson to thank for a brilliant save. That's a nice delivery. That's a glancing header that works well for Reading, but the flag is raised. It's offside. That's a big challenge by Ty Hall. What's the decision here? On this decision, the game really hinges. Ty Hall, the Spurs captain, awaits the judgment of the referee here. Well, it looks as though it's not going to be too serious from a Spurs perspective here. But we wait. It will be a yellow for Ty Hall. Well, this is the challenge. And the boots were high. Did he endanger an opponent? Was it reckless? The referee says only a yellow card in this instance. Well, Spurs 10 against Reading's 11 have really been offering the opposition a test, but they have not many minutes remaining to get themselves back level here, Tottenham Hotspur. There's nothing to lose. They may as well give this a good go. It's been a performance, especially in the second half, full of guts, full of character. And just the only thing missing has been the equalising goal. I'm going to have to throw caution to the wind a bit here. But there are players on the field that you certainly feel could be the game changers that Spurs need. Well, a stoppage in the game here. And that is because there is some filming. Taking a... Well, it's a bit too close to the pitch here, the drone. As if the referees need anything more to think about. Salter trying to get there. Dove sliding. And Salter again. Muslika couldn't find a teammate with the pass. Now Tingy opens up the room on the other side. Here is Sanderford. Driving forward with confidence, don't mind that too much. Salter, now Moncur. A minute of regular time remains. Spurs circulating the ball, but they push it out of play. Well, is there a player within this team who can spin this match on its head? Big header in there by Beggs. And the ball was sent back in his direction by Salter. Tingy should get to that, and he does. Back to Thompson. Now Thomas. Hopeful ball is launched forward, and it's actually worked out really quite well for Spurs. They've made some good yards here. And Bose came on with a flourish at the start of the second half, has been quieter since. Ball hasn't really been sent in his direction. And Cameron Thomas gets caught in a tussle. Reading get the free kick. Borgnis, the goalkeeper. Out towards Omoreggi, whose goal in this game could prove to be the decisive one. Went flying from one end of the pitch to the other, just after Spurs had a penalty saved. And that could well prove to be the turning point in this match and the decisive moment. Unless Spurs can do something pretty dramatic right at the end of this game. Sanderford driving down the right-hand side, but he won't get beyond St. Louis this time. Beggs is chasing, does really well. Wonderful challenge. Ty Hall recovers the ball as well. And then he was pulled back.
Get the ball ready. Body shape, Elijah. Come on, Beggs. Get Joseph over. Get Joseph over. Don't leave the line. Elijah. Don't leave the line. Get Joseph over. Movement.
Thomas with a driving run. And it's intercepted by Dove. He continues to put himself in the right place at the right time. Salter. Passing to Moncur was a bit too heavy, difficult to control as it bobbled up off of the turf, and well, Moncur was knocked out the pass he was looking for. Salter will have another go, and he wanted the ball back. And Muslika went in the opposite direction. Now Spurs might be in some trouble. Omoreggi will carry the ball up into Tottenham Hotspur's penalty area. It was somewhere between a shot and a cross that ended up coming into the 6-yard box. Goes all the way through in the end. Well, the cross is good and Muslika might be in. Spurs do have a chance and have scored. What a wonderful moment here for Tottenham Hotspur on the opening day of the league season. With only 10 men and with their backs against the wall, they have shown heart and character and fight. And they have found their goal. And they may just have secured themselves a point. Muslika bundled his way through. It bobbled up very kindly, but it's a lovely, lovely finish. 2-2. Well, Spurs seemingly getting their rewards for not going down without a fight. And they've now got themselves a free kick in a very good area. Oh, surely not. Surely Spurs can't win it now. Well, Ty Hall already has one in this game from the spot. He certainly has got the ability in the locker to hit them from here, although the run-up would suggest he's going to cross this. Does turn towards the back of the area. Spurs have a corner. Salter for Spurs, brilliant corner, what a chance as well. Well, Boast Rising really puts himself in a good position, was under pressure, big header, but he's put it wide. Well, that would have been an unbelievable start to the season here for Spurs. It's Hedgie for Reading with a corner here, as Reading tried to get themselves back on top, and it's a wonderful claim by Thompson, and it's a final whistle. What a brilliant fight back from Spurs here on the opening day of the league season. A performance that demonstrates real team spirit, and Spurs with 10 men have managed to grab themselves a point here, and it finishes 2-2.